Jim, a few weeks ago, I'm sure you remember, I had to do a little intervention with you.
Yes, you did.
You were. I could tell every day people were. I think they were just sporting it, like they were just for fun. They were trying to goad you on in Stockpickr answers, and I was begging you, just don't ignore those people. Respond to them. I mean, don't respond to them.
Right.
And you've done very well. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. Some of the guys who were just bashing me over and over again, I pressed your ignore button that you added. There are other people whom I just stopped responding to it, so they've gone away. I think that their whole fun was to know that I would respond. So once I took your advice, they stopped.
And the game has upped a notch on Stockpickr answers. Like people are asking great questions.
I have to tell you, this morning there was a question about Schlumberger. Okay, and it came up. Yeah, it came up. It probably came up at about like 8:30, and it was why did Schlumberger go up? And the others didn't go up. And Schlumberger had been knocked down, and Schlumberger was just statistically much cheaper than it should be. So I was about to enter, well, Schlumberger is now back. Whenever it's at 16 times earnings, people come in and buy. And sure enough, I look and there's like a guy who totally, he completely nailed that in a better way before I got there. So all I did was say, previous poster, right. And also, one of the things that I had been asked to, one of the detractors kept using my name, and I said, why don't you do it to everybody? Well, everybody, I guess the detractor's been driven away. It's the reverse Gresham's law on the site. But there's a lot of memo, or I guess MTE, that to the group. And the group is really responding and answering a lot of great questions.
Well, people don't realize it, but there are like a lot of hedge fund managers, investors, prop traders. We did a Stockpickr meetup in Boston, and everyone there was like a professional investor. They all knew more about stocks than me. I was taking notes on everything people were saying.
I have to tell you that I now feel like when I have something to say, I'll go to realmoney.com and call this conversation. But if there's a question about the same topic, I'll give an elaborate answer in answers, and it's become quite exciting because. And I first this weekend I took a break because of the Barron's thing. I just said, you know what, I'll stay away from my computer because I too want a life. And I came back and there were all these nice things in Stockpickr and in the questions side. And what I realized is that this is a group of people who have respect for each other, which is quite different from most websites.
Well, it's interesting because the key that you've said it on your show, you've said it in the book, and I'm not just trying to tout these things, but you have said just do your own research. These are all starting points for research. Here are some bullet points. Here are some ideas, and we'll get to the facts tomorrow. But the reality is, I think people go to Stockpickr because they're researching. They don't want the hand-holding.
Right.
They see Warren Buffett's picks. They see your ideas. They see T. Boone Pickens' picks. They see each other's picks. Right. But they're not just going to blindly play them.
Well,
I'll blindly play them.
No, but what's
I'm a
great,
story.
what I find that is great that has changed was that there was, and I was answering a lot of these, a lot of people were asking me about stocks that I knew nothing about, and that was pretty much of a dead end. Because it's like, Jim, what do you think about Petro Energy, whatever, just make one up. And it'd be like, I don't know Petro Energy. And that would be the end of the question. But, if you ask the group, what are they, someone knows it. So, that was a dead end that has now been breached, and I'm really happy about that.
Now, did you make up that name just now, Petro Energy?
Yes.
So it's almost like that's the version of like XYZ.com.
Right, I don't want to use
Petro Energy.
Right, and I feel like that what'll happen is that if I pick an individual stock, people will think that I'm picking on their thing.
Right.
I do respect the group so much, and I'm so gratified that it is not Jim James on every single question.
Well, fortunately it's not Jim James because like you've answered 1,400 questions there. I can't keep up. I don't know. I don't know the answers.
I go to it and it's like, oh, please don't have a new one. And a lot of times people are like laying in wait. They say, oh my God, he's in. I'll rush it. And I want to play. I really do. But I don't think people realize. Yesterday was the Lowe's conference call. Okay, so I'm not going to opine on Lowe's until I've read that conference call.
Right.
And people have to understand that even just to be in the arena, you have to recognize that Lowe's is saying something about the southwest part of America, something about Florida, and there's just these the very basics that have to be done. One of the things that when I watch ESPN, like they never talk about a game unless they've seen it. That's how we have to be. We can't talk about a game unless we've been on the conference call.
I agree, but that brings to mind something you just said earlier in this conversation, which is that sometimes people mention stocks that you don't know. Right. I don't get that.
I'll never mention the stock ever. Ever.
But wait, there's only 6,000 public companies. I thought you knew all 8,000 of them.
Barron says that I know them, and I know them well enough to be able to get them wrong.
Well, we'll see. I'm going to take a look at the facts. We'll have it up there on the site tomorrow. But thanks very much.
Thank you.